So no problem with the charging, easy to activate with a card, just that power level. It's not meeting those NEVI 150 kilowatts. Welcome back to Plug and Play EV. I'm Steve, and in this one we're up in Rockland, Maine to test out the first Tesla federally funded supercharger under the NEVI formula program. Does it give us the full power? Is it true V4? Can we get what we would expect for that minimum 150 kilowatts continuous that NEVI requires? Let's not waste any more time. Let's plug in and see what we can get out of these V4 NEVI funded Tesla superchargers. This is a federally funded supercharger with 8 stalls on the V4 dispensers at least, but actually V3 power cabinets for Tesla superchargers just behind the scene. So that does mean that they're limited to the 500 volt output that was the same for all of the original V3s, which means on this vehicle they're not going to max out the advantage of the 800 volt pack architecture, and that's where we see the limited charging on the version 3 superchargers that come with the Magic Dock. There's no adapters out in the wild yet for personal owners of the vehicles, so the only places we can test these are on Magic Docks, but consistently we've only managed to get 97 kilowatts out of those with the adapter built into the handle. So these are newer dispensers, but in terms of actual power behind the scenes, they haven't managed to up the voltage there, and that's where you start to see the limitations on things like the Cybertruck now, as well as the EGMP cars. So on any other DC charger, pretty much, they would be able to achieve that 150 kilowatts plus that NEVI requires. But in these particular instances where Tesla gets the federal funding for these supercharger locations, technically by that continuous power delivery of 150 kilowatt requirement, they're not going to make it. So as you can see from the session here, we started up no problem at all on 2D. First did the session through the usual route that we would take at a Magic Dock, through the app, no problems at all, really quick start up. Once you get the post plugged in, it's just as quick as anything else, so good stuff there. The thing I would note obviously is that there's not really any guidance on the unit itself, so you get the issue of, same as other people have been running into at Magic Docks, pull the handle out initially and it still just looks like a regular Tesla connector. So people with a CCS vehicle who are new to all this aren't necessarily going to know that, and you're probably still going to get the same thing of people arriving, being guided here because it's technically capable of charging CCS vehicles, but if you don't know the hold down for 2 seconds, push up and pull out to get the adapter connected, then you may just go away confused and not able to charge. So I think that'll start to filter through, but it would be nice to have something from Tesla on the unit itself to really push that home, some clear visuals or some kind of signage to suggest that that's what you need to do. They do have the touchscreen now, which is useful. That gives you some feedback when you are charging, gives you the power rating, how much you're spending, length of charge session, all that good stuff. So it's nice to have that. It's very small, kind of hard to see in the sunlight, but you know, at the same time, that's true of many touchscreens. So they don't want to really have a big ostentatious touchscreen, but one of the requirements is being able to pay in any way you want and be able to see the how much you're being charged for the session under the NEVI program. So to get that funding, they've had to have these things with the screen on. So really, you're getting the same experience as a Magic Dock, more or less. You do get some more reach with the cables. I think they're still too short. I mean, if you can't get the same length that you will out of one of the fully retractable Electrify America stations on those BTC power and Signet hardware, but you can at least park in now, back in, and you're not going to be taking up a stall that you shouldn't be taking up. So 2 attempts, 2 charges. Someone else charged a Model S on the one of the 1 posts. So the thing I would point out, although you know I know that this is going to be a limitation, and you know around 100 kilowatts is still okay for a charge session, especially when it's multiple stalls available and delivering it reliably. But the issue there will be that if people are expecting a certain amount from NEVI-funded stations, if that's something they go into with that 150 kilowatt minimum expectation, there's going to be another one down the road here in Waldoboro, Maine, that we'll look at, which will be another NEVI-funded site, but it will be probably other hardware with CCS attached, so you'll be able to get that 1000 volt max range and hit the 150 plus that this car can take. quite easily. So there's going to be that distinction between a site that is 30-40 miles down the road is going to be able to deliver probably 2 times as much power than this one for the IONIQ 5, Kia EV6, EV9, IONIQ 6. More and more of these EGMP cars coming out, and some of the 800 volt cars that aren't really able to max out on these supercharger stations because their limitations, or because Tesla hasn't got that version 4 1000 volt power cabinet rolled out as yet. So something to keep in mind, and depends on your view of compliance. Doesn't give me the 150 kilowatts continuous, but does give me a reliable charge. Take your choice. And of course, all of this comes in the wake of the Tesla Supercharger department being largely axed. Repair and maintenance crews still there, other people still managing the network. Of course, it's not something they're just going to allow to fall down, but at the same time it does put into question with that slowed expansion, and confirm mostly looking at uptime and upgrades only in areas where they really need them. These NEVI sites that Tesla has out there, which at the time of recording in early May 2024 are about 14% of all the awards that have been sent out there for NEVI programs across 20 states or so. They'll have to see if those are actually going to go in, or if they're going to be just off the kind of market now, because Tesla has decided that, you know, the expansion program is in a different phase. It seems odd to suddenly give up all of that you know, federal money, but at the same time, if they don't want to put these locations in, a lot of the time they're coming in much under budget compared to other people. Maybe they don't see the value of putting that in now. Maybe the federal funding just isn't that big of a deal compared to what it would cost to run these things over a length of time. So we'll see. I mean, it's unfortunate because some of these are important areas. You know, if you look at New Mexico, where we've had Jacob, the RT Penguin 1 channel, talk to us before, that in certain sites in New Mexico, they're going to really leave a gap if someone else doesn't come in and fill in. So knowing how much people are going after that money and different players are trying to secure those funds, I would be surprised if someone doesn't jump in and take some of the sites that Tesla has maybe potentially left on the table. But up here we do have at least one in the ground. This is the first and only one so far. So there's the plan, and this is the site, which I'll put it up on the screen here, the actual visual. Opposite an Irving Oil and a Wendy's, you can see, I think, zipping up in the top there, behind the tree is I-95. Nothing here as yet, and certainly nothing that would be close to being considered under construction, so this may be one of the ones that's in jeopardy of being pushed back or not done at all. This is the section of the lot. You've got the 99 restaurant, that's a sit-down chain around here in the northeast, and the Comfort Inn just in the background. And a sprint across the road would get you to a Wendy's and the convenience store. So there's some stuff, but we'll have to see. It doesn't seem likely. This was supposed to be 60 installed, so this would be the side that it'll be on. Would have been pretty nice facility as well, with that other little pokey one at the top being just 150 kilowatts and kind of well out the way. This would be good location for pretty much everybody. So we'll see if it gets done by Tesla, or if somebody else will swoop in and try and take advantage of some more NEVI funds in Maine.